It's the start of the 2014 season, and Mother Nature would push the kickoff back 1 hour, but we eventually got a sign from the skies to go ahead and play. Evanston at Cheyenne South, first quarter. Evanston wearing the white. They got the ball first, and they are not going anywhere. Jake Brown and Andrew Eagle Road bust through to bust up that play in what was a good start for South. On the first offensive play for the Bison, apparently the offense was not ready to go just yet. Jesse Gross would recover the loose ball, and the Red Devils would set up shop inside enemy territory at the 35-yard line. A few plays later, they would cash in. Miles Piper had one receiver in mind the entire time, and it was Alec Johnson, 15 yards, and the two were on the same page. Piper was 16 of 13 for 100 yards. Visitors strike first and lead 7-0. Moving on, both teams would trade fumbles, and the Bison offense would eventually get going. Austin Barker finds an open receiver. It's Riley Habercorn, and this was a team effort. Great blocking, and the junior would break loose along the near sideline. A 46-yard pickup down to the 8, but in the end, the drive produced nothing. A missed field goal would waste that effort. Problems would continue for the boys in black in the opening quarter, and the special teams contributed their share. Michael DeBruin probably should have fair caught that ball or just let it go, because once he realized how much traffic was in front of him, well, he would pay the price. Will Kishpaw comes up with a fumble at the South 13. That was the third recovery for Evanston in the first 12 minutes, and another opportunity to score is knocking. Second quarter, the Red Devils had some problems working with a short field. Penalties would push them back, and on this play, Piper would get dragged down by Shane Dilsaver. The defense came to the rescue, and no further damage was done on the scoreboard. The home team would put a drive together and then call on Bryce Coder to redeem himself. 29 yards. He had to hook left and almost went too far, but he knocked it through, and his squad only trails 7-3. The visitors would put a few plays together afterwards and answer. Hiram Peterson will slip a few tackles, and he's off to the races. This play was 49 of his 121 yards rushing down to the other 28-yard line. You will see more from him later. Time is running low before the break, but there was enough. Piper is playing his tune. Gavin Whitaker is going to get interfered with, but he still managed to make the diving catch for a 14-yard score. Evanston had all the momentum, leading 14-3 going into the locker room. Third quarter, the tide would shift the other direction. Things got a little too hot to handle for the Red Devils. Dilsaver would make the recovery near midfield. Finally, a turnover went south, but the offense needs to do its job and get into the end zone. It took a few plays, but they would do just that. Off of the quick snap, Marquez Jefferson will put his head down and fight his way in for 1 yard and 6 points. PAT good, and the Bison are right back in this game, down 14-10. After another fumble, the boys in black were back. 4th and goal from the 9. Barker is scrambling on the far side. Habercorn will make the reception, and then he'll fight 3 tacklers, but he still found a way to make it to the promised land. A 9-yard touchdown reception. South now leads this game 17-14. The Red Devils would rebound, and this is how you make something out of nothing. Piper is feeling the pressure, but he'll dump the ball over the middle to Peterson, and he has room to run. This was a 46-yard pickup when it was all said and done. This game is not over yet. The visitors still trailed 17-14 going into the final 12 minutes. Fourth quarter, Evanston would rely on their workhorse, and that was Peterson. He was too hot to handle on this play and went through the defense like a hot knife through butter for 8 yards. The lead has changed hands. The score would make this a 21-17 contest. Later, they were trying to put the nail in the coffin, but they ended up nailing themselves. Piper with a good fade to Johnson for what would have been a 10-yard score. And I say would have because Johnson got called for offensive pass interference. No touchdown. South caught a break. But the boys in black needed another one, and they also need the ball. DeBruin would catch on to the passing scheme and make the interception in the end zone. We got some drama. His team would put a drive together and march to the other end of the field. About 17 seconds to go. The Bison facing 4th and goal at the 5. Barker wants a screen to Habercorn, but Johnson breaks it up, and that's the ball game. For the 3rd straight year, Evanston goes through a nail-biter with South and pulls it out in the end, winning this one 21-17.